Okay, so being pre-T, you have to face a lot of different things. Thinking off the top of my head, one thing that you have problems with is being misgendered. Um, you have people not only misgendering you, but trying to overcompensate for misgendering you. I'll get to these. You have people who, like, know maybe that something's going on, but instead they decide to be a dick to you. That's another thing. I don't know. There's a lot of things that can happen pre-T, but so misgendering. I don't know. Like we can be at like Walmart. We can be at like a festival. I dress like a guy. I look like a guy. I can have sunglasses on. I can have a hat on. I could, I bind. Yet still, someone who hasn't even heard my voice yet will be like, "Ladies!" And I just look at this woman like if my look could kill her, she would be dead. And like, on one hand, it's like, it's really frustrating because, I don't know, like, you try so hard to look how you want to look, and not because of other people, but because that's how you want to look. But it's also this frustrating thing when you put so much effort into it, and that one person, that first person of the day, says ladies, ma'am, or miss. It almost completely kills everything that you have worked for that day. I could go out in the best mood, feeling like, yeah, I look good today. That one person calls me lady. I look at her, and I'm just like, fuck you. Because that's how I feel. Because, it's just that thing. When you think you look good, or you're like, yeah, I'm passing today. It doesn't matter. You're probably not passing. But to you, you look better than you've ever looked before. And you're like, yeah. And, on one hand, I feel like it's that person's fault. Because it's like, number one, if they're like, I don't know how you identify, but I'm going to call you this anyway, that's their fault. Number two, in our society, people don't really think about, if I don't know what you are or how you identify, I'm going to ask you. No one has ever come up to me and said, hi, I'm not sure, but how do you identify? And let me answer the question. Instead, they lady me before I can even say anything. So it's like, on one hand, it's not that person's fault, but on the other hand, you feel like it is, because it's like, why would you do that? But, not everybody is educated, and that's a problem. How to fix that? Well, there's two things. And this I have a problem with, but I'm getting better. The people that you see in everyday life. Say you are in, Barnes & Noble or something, and the cashier calls you a lady, or calls you something that you're not identifying as. You can let it affect you and ruin your day, or you can just be like, okay, they're not educated, they don't know any better, I'm not going to let it get to me, and just move on. Because at the end of the day, how many times are you going to see that person again? Now, if it's somebody that you're going to see, and you know that you're going to see multiple times a day, then tell that person, hey, like, just so you know, I identify as male, I go by he and him, or whatever you go by, and then that's that. If the person continually, keeps messing up or is doing it on purpose, don't go near them. Or avoid them. I don't know. Go to a different cashier. But most people, I feel like, would be like, oh, okay. And then even if they thought it was weird, I feel like they wouldn't argue with you. A big place for me is at bars. I'm in the process of a name change. But my ID still says my birth name, and it still says female for my gender marker. So, if there's a bartender and they're like, oh, hey guys, and you can tell they're not sure, like, if I'm a guy or a girl, he'll look at my ID and be like, all right, thanks, ladies. But that's a problem for me, especially at bars, because usually when my girlfriend and I go to bars, we stay there for a while and have to use the bathroom. If I'm sitting at the bar and most of the time there's guys surrounding us sitting at the bar. It's a huge problem if those guys hear the bartender calling us ladies, ma'am, or miss. Because if they see me in the men's bathroom, automatically it's this, what the hell are you doing in here? So what I've actually started doing is if I'm at a bar, I will actually, when I show the bartender my ID, I'll say, this says female, but I identify as male and go by he and him. Just want to let you know so that you don't lady me, or you say what you want to say, but you let them know that that's not how you identify. And in my experience, everyone has listened to me, and I haven't had any issues. And I don't ever feel safe. Hold on, my phone is ringing. Jeez. I don't ever feel safe in the men's bathroom. I'm going to do a different post about that. But I feel safer knowing that regardless, they don't know that I'm a girl. If anything, they're probably confused as hell, not knowing what I am, but assuming that I'm some type of a guy if I'm using the men's bathroom. So it makes it a little bit better. And then there's just those people, like, in your everyday life that just, they're just asses. They don't care if you're trans, they don't care if you're a lesbian. Either way, they're shitty to you. And I tend to have anger problems, so it gets to me more than it might get to somebody else. But the best thing to do is to just let it roll off your shoulder, because those people don't mean anything. And then especially if you're going to go on hormones, sooner than later, you're going to pass. It just might take a little while, but you're going to pass, And if you're preety, or, if you're not going on hormones, the people still don't matter. Because ultimately it's about you and your happiness. If you're presenting the way that you want to present, and you're happy with how you look, how you're acting, your whole everything, that's what matters. That stupid person making stupid comments, and doesn't matter whatsoever. So, yeah. So I think that's everything I wanted to say about that. Okay.